Indiana Jones and the Great Circle: The Order of Giants, which is the story DLC for last year's Game of the Year. Anyone?
Sure.
Yeah. One of the games of the year.
I think I played that one.
for sure.
So.
It certainly was fantastic. I played it over the break. Order of Giants is probably, well, at the moment, the only slated story DLC for The Great Circle. And I 100%ed the main game over the break. So this was very exciting to me. Another 2 to 3 hours of Troy Baker's Indiana Jones. But I love what Machine Games did for an indie feeling game that still had the heart of indie, but plenty of action. And Order of the Giants takes you back to Vatican City. You meet a priest and his parrot, and they send you to the sewers. The writing and the characters, these new characters are great. There's still great humor and pathos that kind of blend that Indiana Jones is famous for. There's a joke and then something really serious and beautiful and emotive happens. But he finds himself wedged between history and myth once more. There's talking birds, an ancient cult, giants, and of course, lots of incredibly Italian art. This DLC is very puzzle heavy, which I really love. I think it was the most interesting part. It's the most Indiana Jones part of the main game, and they really worked out how to make puzzles while making the main game, and all the ones in here are super strong. And they're kind of back-to-back great puzzles. They like the puzzle design is one thing. You know, it's not a puzzle game. It's not Witness or something that is exclusively that, but it's really the dressing and execution of them that adds so much to them. It might be a moving a ball through a maze, and you know it becomes pretty apparent what you're supposed to do quickly. But the way that it's dressed with these beautiful old statues and the mechanisms and the machinery that you can see, it all feels so beautifully designed. And the way that he mumbles his way through his own problem solving. They just really have the tone of Indiana Jones so nailed. And then there's for anyone who played the main game, there are boss fights, and they play out in like basically melees. But the one to end this is perfect. It's like
Sick.
It's silly, but it's great. This isn't a perfect expansion though. Like, my biggest frustration with this is that you were just like underground the whole time. One of the best things about the main game and Indiana Jones in general is like the map with a plane flying over it. We're traveling the world. We're going to see beautiful locations, and every couple of hours you're going to get a new experience. This is sewers, canals, and underground caves.
Catacombs?
You could get a catacomb or two.
Oh, good.
If you're lucky. But it is disappointing that it's a short experience, but you're just at Vatican again, and then you're underground for 2 hours, and it's like, okay. And there's no new element here. This is like, you can play through this DLC before you finish the game. You don't have to have finished the game. But there's no, like, I don't know, I like a DLC that adds an item or a new weapon or something that you could then take across into the rest of the game to make it feel cohesive. It's still cohesive because there's nothing unique about it. It's just another mission out of Vatican City.
Yeah.
So if you're playing through the game for the first time and you had the deluxe edition, you had all the content installed, you might do this mission without even realizing that it's the DLC.
Yeah,
it's just a big side mission, which is fine, but I don't know. I feel like I was, having finished the game, hoping that it had some little token of, and this is extra content, and you get an extra little thing.
It's interesting how they've but how they've sort of shoehorned this into the main game, being that the main game has that funny concession that when you finish it, you can return to areas, but they definitely have moments that you left that area or characters that have evolved since you've left that area. So there's a big warning that's like, hey, when you go back here, it's a bit of a jump back in time. Like, you are literally going back in time. And here it's like, it's within a level that the story is still plowing on. You're still miles from the end kind of thing. And also that it is contained underground. Like that it does, you're right, it doesn't feel as explorative as it could to be like, oh, he's sitting around telling a story about another adventure that happened to him. And I was excited when it was announced, and then I found out it was sewers, and I was like, I don't want to play this because it feels contained as good as it is.
The puzzles are great.
Okay.
And Troy Baker, for as much as I've heard enough of him, he's great.
He's going to be in the next Naughty Dog game.
He's great.
Yeah.
And direction, great. Like Machine Games, the reason I was excited to play a Machine Games Indiana Jones game in the first place was because of what they did to the Wolfenstein series, how beautiful those cutscenes were, how much heart was in it, while still being cool and funny and slick. And all that's still here. And I mean, you watched a moment over my shoulder. You were watching it muted, and you were like, I mean, there's a very John Williams score to this. The composer of this is brilliant, and all those little trills and the levity of the adventure is captured in the music. But you're watching silent, and you're like, this is great slapstick.
Yeah, it undercuts the kind of seriousness of the situation with a nice little, Lucas Spielbergian Williams tryst of a moment. You're like, oh, this is great. This is exactly what I'd want in the film. So, yeah.
Cool. I just want the DLC to be Raiders, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. Just let me play the movies.
Yeah, wow. That would be really cool.
Have you jumped in? I mean, obviously...
I haven't played the DLC. I've played the game. I haven't finished it, but... the biggest compliment I give it, and I've seen a lot of other people giving it, is that it feels more like Indiana Jones than the recent film. It feels like you're in the world, and the performance is incredible.
He's young and he can walk.
Savage.
I liked the new film, but this is more in line with the 70s.
And just stepping in for the first time as well, you just felt that immediately. I felt like it just feels so authentic to the Indiana Jones experience. Everything I'd want. I was super skeptical learning that it was first person as well initially, and even going in at first, and it's like, this is kind of weird. Machine Games, obviously they're very good at first person, and I didn't think they'd be the best ones to make an indie game, but it turned out great.
In all his celluloid adventures and now in games, he has weight. He hits, he falls over, he scuffles, he grabs things, he waggles fingers. It's all gesticulated in a way that when you go into first person, you're like, this actually makes sense. He's not a nimble kung fu, karate, flipping something or other.
Max Payne diving.
Bullet timing. He's not above the elements around him. He is constantly being beaten down by them. And so I love that, when you're in that perspective, even when you're whip swinging and stuff, you're like, you're not doing it very well. You're like, you can feel the sort of 90 kilos of mass moving around.
I think it feels, it's grounded and tactile. Like you feel the actual feeling of punching someone. It's satisfying.
I will point out that watching Pete play through this though, and that people, well, you did love punching, you loved killing, you loved assaulting, because you were at a late stage of the game where you were so overpowered. Pete has everything unlocked. So watching him play, I'm not saying this was to the detriment of the DLC, but some people might be doing what you've done, which is returning to this, trying to find a morsel of content out of it again. And Pete was just running into every engagement, kiting people in and punching everyone down, or you were so aggressive.
I've maxed out everything. Yeah. Like I found all the books and I've bought all the upgrades. But it was like the stealth combat is great fun, but I was like, I've done heaps of that.
Yeah.
And fighting is fun and I can just kill everyone.
But there were some areas and not having a dig, there were some areas that could have been like constructed in a way that they were set pieces, that there's a puzzle in the combat or there's a puzzle in the how you are going to get through that room via stealth, and you ran through it having a great time but doing it in a very different way. So I wonder how this feels for people coming at it like halfway through the adventure, not even halfway, like a third into the game, you'd probably run into this.
It's the first.
It's pretty early. So you unlock Vatican as the first mission. I think you then finish the Vatican before you go to Egypt. There's not back and forth there.
Yeah.
So basically, by the time you finish Vatican City, you can come back to Vatican City and start doing the other side missions. And this is now included.
Interesting, because that area was the area that felt the least interesting in the original game. So
you should see Underground.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if this was an ambitious project they didn't have time to finish, and it's just been shoveled out as kind of post game DLC.
Where have you put it
Potentially,
down?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not to not shaming. Like
yeah, in the Vatican.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
I played maybe 3 hours and
No,
then
fair
got
enough.
distracted with other games and videos.
because I spent so much time in Egypt. I was like, once
Okay.
I'd gotten a taste of the game, and then I got to Egypt, it was the globe trotting, and I 100% of that area, and then I got to the jungle, which is sort of the third act, and I rushed through that probably a
Yeah.
little too fast because
Okay.
I was like, I've seen it all, but I wish I'd stayed longer in both areas.
Where
And
do
so
you think it peaks then? Like, what's the highlight?
It probably does in the jungle, like
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
because it's indie, and it's just like
Sure.
by that stage the combat arenas are a lot larger and there's a lot more to do. But yeah, I just loved Egypt. I love Raiders as my favorite, and so it just felt the most like that part of the film.
Egypt is a cool place to be as well because it's like Vatican is like open in that you can go around the whole area of the city that is available, but it's a
Surprisingly
walled
large.
city.
yeah.
Whereas in Egypt, it's a really open desert.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of just run in any direction you want.
Yeah.
And then the jungle again becomes quite linear again, and you're on the boat, so you kind of like putting around in a boat and up streams. And it does again make it more claustrophobic. But by that point, you've got this character with you that just from there, that's where the story really became the important thing to me.
Okay.
And the way that those characters were engaging with each other, and that's what pulled me through that area. And then you're in the next area, and then you're basically done from
But
that
there
point.
was, actually then I do think it is Egypt because there was the final thing I love about this series is the time period and is the cinematic
Rome.
well, it's the cinematic lens of this era and these characters, which are, it's pulp novel kind of fantasy escapism. And so even in this area, Pete and I was watching him, the guards are sitting with a small trestle table with a glass of wine and some
They've got an
croissants
almond biscotti.
and an almond biscotti. Or when I'm in Egypt, a beautiful steam engine goes past. I'm like, God, they had it good in the mid 40s. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, this is such a, cinematic lens that we're looking through, but it's so lovely.
I wanted to just shout out, there's a video that it's getting decent views, but watching The Aerial did a short doco on why the game looks the way it does. And
Okay.
it's really interesting. They've talked to a couple of the devs and stuff. And one of the most interesting things is that they had a cinematographer for the mocap.
Really?
So the actual
Okay.
mocap stage was being directed through a lens
Okay.
intentionally. So it totally builds on that idea.
You know
of
what's
just-
not in this
yeah.
game? Just Mass Effect style. Sorry to single that game out.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
just shoulder to shoulder
100%.
dialogue, which is
Yeah.
just in every game, and it's just move the camera,
Yeah.
move
Yeah.
up from
Yeah.
the table, and you're right. So it feels like a movie.
You know, one of
Yeah.
the most beautiful things about Raiders is Spielberg's filmmaking choices. There's 3 scenes in a single. It's just
Yeah.
blocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creates these beautiful
in
moments
one shot. Yes.
in one shot, and
Yeah.
they have clearly been inspired by that.
Yeah.
And there's like definitely an artistry to video game cinematics that these guys honor traditional filmmaking. I don't mind when games are like, oh, we have a virtual camera so we can put it fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's cool and it's a different take, but these guys, like, you can feel the camera operator
Yeah.
in these cutscenes, and I really like that.
It feels intentional.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's
It-
yeah.
It took how many years for someone to go, look, we just have to follow the master, which is Spielberg, and the best films he ever made, which
Yeah.
is these, to go, okay, we finally get it now.
Yeah.
This is how we can move a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool. It's
Need
good
to go
reason
back and finish it.
You
Yeah.
definitely-
I really want to
yeah,
now.
I really think that all of us on the couch would really get a lot out of
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
I mean, you got a bit out of it and kind
Yeah.
of fell off, didn't you?
I got to the end, but I might check out the sewers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
To see the
I have to see
sewers.
the sewers?
When in Rome.